Okay, good morning, everyone. It is Monday, May 26th, 2026. New day, fresh start. New week, fresh start, I should say. Welcome to Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. I'm your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple. Live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable setups, all with the focus on building real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning we come in with the same goal to build out the structure before the open so that we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. We're not going to guess. We're not going to change. We're going to build out trades that make sense, and we're going to operate with discipline. All right, so with that said, let's dig right into the charts. First off, quick programming note. Apologies. I was traveling this weekend, and I just got back a few hours ago. And so I'm a little bit behind on the pre-market prep, but with the market opening in about 5 minutes, we're going to just jump right into it, start off with a higher time frame, and we'll build out what we can before we open. All right, team. Another thing, if you didn't get the trade plan, go to @Manny_trends on X and pick it up there. That has the execution clock as well as today's market blueprint. Go check it out. All right, we're going to dig right into the chart. We're going to do, as we do every morning, we're going to stick with the higher time frame analysis, and then we're going to drill down to the 15-minute. We're going to go into a slightly abridged version just because of the gap and the hourly trend being so clear. All right, team. So first off, on the left-hand chart, we have the 4-hour time frame. Pretty straightforward here. We are gapping up higher. The one structural reference that we're going to maintain was the prior all-time high, 75.40, as well as Friday's high, which was our last full regular trading hour session, which was 75.24. So keep that in mind. 75.24 to 75.40 is going to be where we want to. If we do get a liquidation break off the open, we're going to want to make sure that we have those in our mind. Remember, it's 75.40. Let's see, 75.24 to 75.40. All right. So that kind of builds out that's our higher time frame, 75.24 to 75.40. All right, let's dig into the 15-minute chart. We're going to map out the most bullish outcome, the most bearish outcome. Then we'll talk about the couple of trap trades. These big gaps are tricky. And there's one thing that I want to point out is typically when we have big gaps, personally, myself, that's a morning where I tend to sit back. I want to let the market prove it. I want to see what its intentions are. I fully don't expect to see, unless there's, obviously we're going to react. We're not going to predict. But what I want to point out is that I want to try to wait for the market to show its hand before anything, because typically what you might see a lot of choppy trade at the open as the market tries to figure out how to digest the gap. All right. And this is a pretty big gap where we're up 49 points as is right now. And at one point we were up as much as 89 points. Okay. All right. So let's map out the most bullish outcome on the left. The most bullish outcome has us opening up at 75.39. Okay. And that has us on an open and drive. Immediate structural reference that we're going to have to lock in on is the 75.50 to 75.60 band. That's going to come in right here. Check it out on the left, right? This is going to be the bull's first need. And also it's going to show us, it's going to give us an idea for what the market wants to do. You can see that we traded higher here we had the spike high. We came as high as 75.51 and the market faded. Okay. What that number is yesterday's abbreviated session low, as well as this spike low in the overnight Sunday session. All right. So let's make sure we map that out. 75.55 to, let's call it 75.50 to 75.60. Okay. All right. So if we open and we're bullish and we get an open drive higher immediately and we breach that area, we're going to look for that area. Support becomes resistance, becomes support. Okay, so if that area starts to act as support and we get a deep pullback to that 75.51 low, maybe right here, okay, we're going to start looking for that price to hold. We're going to look for acceptance for closes above or within this structural reference, and we'll enter our long trades looking for a target of the overnight high at 75.69.75. That's a gap and go scenario. That means where the market is fully acceptant of these higher prices. It's bullish. That means people who are just getting back to work from the long weekend are anxious to get in. All right, we're opening up here. Okay, the most bearish outcome high at 75.4. If the price gets below 5.4, demonstrates below, and we start to get lower closes, at that point, we're going to look for our short entries that get us below the overnight low and potentially into Friday's value. Now, what that would mean is that would be a significant tell, because that would be the market signaling that, hey, the gap, the news that caused the market to gap higher was more interpreted as a sell opportunity, and people are taking profits, and that the news is not that bullish. We should then look for a move back down to yesterday's value area low being 75.93.75. Does that make sense? Okay, so with that being the most bearish outcome, here's what we have to look out for on the bull side, the bullish trap trade. If we get above 75, let me just make sure I have bow on. Okay, 75. If price trades higher and we're unable to gain acceptance above 75.50 to 75.60, and we start trading back below it, let's look for fades. Let's look for scalps, because we're still not going to know if the market's either choppy or bearish, or if that was an opportunity where they're going to sell the news, right? But at that point, we're going to take our scales quickly, maybe maintain a runner, get into a break-even stop, and see what the market offers. All right, you can see over here from the open, we're down already just off the open. The most bearish, the bearish trap trade. If market breaks and we get below yesterday's value area low, and instead of us gaining acceptance, we get back. So let's say we get down to overnight low 75.17, 75.24 within that band, and the price stalls, and immediately we start to wick down there on a 5-minute, and we start to reclaim. If we reclaim value area high 75.15 or yesterday's high 75.24, then that was just simply a liquidation break from the overnight inventory being 100% long. At that point, we're going to look for long entries. Again, we're not going to know if the market's choppy or if it's intentionally going to rally higher, but we're going to take our scales along the way, and we're going to look for higher prices. Okay, that's kind of an abridged version with the late start this morning. I hope you guys caught it. Let me just get a quick snapshot here. Okay, hang tight. All right, don't mind me. I'm a little rusty on sleep this morning. All right, so that covers the most bullish outcome. That covers the most bearish outcome. We have the bullish trap trade and the bearish trap trade. All right, team, here's the thing, right? So we have to be careful on these larger gaps, right? We want to let the market prove it to us. We want to see what its intention is really early on by just kind of taking a more passive approach and watching the price action. Okay, because listen, we have overnight inventory that's 100% net long, right? It's all long. From Sunday night, we gapped up we opened roughly 75.20, and we made a low of 75.17, and we rallied all the way up to 75.69.75. That means everybody that has transacted mostly since the Sunday night open is bullish, is long. A lot of that has been paired off here, right? We can easily see that from 75.69, we're trading, about 40 points below that. So we're seeing that liquidation break here. Let's make sure we get that opening print locked in here. We opened at 75.34, and we don't know yet if this is going to be a liquidation break from the overnight inventory kind of resetting. Keep in mind that when the overnight inventory skews one way directionally, typically what we see at the open of the regular trading hours, or maybe even sometime during that session, is a reset of that inventory. All right. So we don't want to get trapped in that kind of that confusion. Let the market play out. Let's see if there's a good opportunity. If we can grab something that's close to a structural reference that allows us a asymmetric opportunity with a small risk and a larger gain, then that's the move we want to participate in. All right. So let me know if you have any questions. Post them in chat. Let me know what you're thinking. Good morning, Bo. What do you got for us?
Morning.
How are you?
Great.
Cool. All right, team. We're coming down now into. I don't have my my dome up. That's how lackadaisical I am on these opens. Let me just see. Whew, it looks like a pretty strong liquidation break here. But in fact, it's just a reset of the overnight inventory. We're not going to get fooled by any of this stuff. I mean, there's tons of opportunity in this liquidation break. So yeah, if you guys caught it, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. What are you looking at this morning, Bo?
Oh, just settling in. We're below the open, big gap. Usually you can fade it. Had a nice long weekend, and I guess the war's over and everything's good, right?
Yeah, it's Bulls on parade. It's Pamplona. We're back. We're out in Spain. We're going higher, right? I mean, I guess that's what they want us to think. We're a little too savvy for that, though, around here, huh?
Just, I don't know. Do you sell the news? Maybe.
Yeah, well, look, there are different types. That's a great something great to talk about, right? Because they're often like, you'll get into these environments where where good news is interpreted as bullish and good news comes out and we gap up, like kind of what we're seeing now. And then there are these environments where where good news is being sold. And I often say that, you cannot focus on, trying to gain insight from, why did the news move the market this way? It's all about liquidity. It's all about money, right? How is the market positioned before the news event? And how is the market positioned after? So when we launched this war, right, typically everyone was thinking, hey, we're going lower. And what did it do? Market ripped 17%, right? And that was because the liquidity was dictating that, hey, there are more longs in this market right now than there are shorts. And there were more shorts in the market than there were longs, and we were going to break. At least that's my interpretation of it. And that's why I kind of put that out there on socials and kind of alerted folks to what I thought might have happened. And that was roughly at 6,400, and we zoomed from there. But yeah, got to be careful. The news. I think the tape gives me the news mostly. I'm typically, paying attention to the tape because that's where I get my news. All right, team. Remember, we're going to focus in. Hey, let me give around. Good morning, Large Void. Good morning, Easy Money. Good morning, Delphine. Hey, good morning, CB. Good morning, Rev. How was your all weekend? It was a holiday weekend here. It was awesome for me. So I had a daddy-daughter weekend with my daughter, and it was her and I. We went. We traveled, and we had 4 days just me and her alone, which was really, really cool, really, really special. It was super awesome. Yeah, so unfortunately we didn't win the tournament, but she played amazing. Like she batted 667. She had a home run. yeah, she hit 667. Her on base percentage was like 729. Yeah, Yeah, she was on fire. I couldn't believe it. I was texting with friends from there, and I every time she'd come up to hit, I'd send them another video of her hits. It was pretty cool. Yeah, she was. I'm so impressed by her. I coached her. I coached her a lot. Now I don't coach her anymore. I don't coach her team. She's kind of. Uh, I'm focusing on my son right now, but she's continuing to blossom. You know, you just get really happy to see that stuff. Yep. That's my son wears 99. That's right, easy money. My son wears 99. So we're big Yankee fans. Some of the part of the reason why I moved to Tampa was because the Yankees are so. I mean, so the Yankees are really active in Tampa, and so true story is that uh, George Steinbrenner lived like in the next in like 10 blocks, like 15 blocks away from me. One of his first houses. And so the little league that we played at, that we played when the kids were really young, was redone by him. And so it's like all in Yankee blue and Yankee white. It's pretty cool. Thanks, Mr. Jupton one. Yep, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, I try to do my best. Those kids, they keep me on my toes. They keep me on my toes. But yeah, it's so my dad worked a lot, right? He worked a lot, and he wasn't able to be at m- many of my games. And so I always wanted to be able. I often tell people I trade so that I can coach. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, CB, Gary Sheffield's really, really. So my wife knows they. His wife and my wife have common friends, and his boys are playing outrageous ball. There's an IMG academy here that's really like for top level high school athletes, and his son plays there. His son is really good. He's got the same. He holds the bat the same way. It's really cool to watch. Yeah. Yep. Super unorthodox swing. I often tell people, you know how many times a coach probably tried to change that on him, and so you got to kind of we always talk about letting kids kind of define who they are, and try to it's not how you start, it's how you finish. All right, so we thought, all right, so really quickly here, let's just zone in. Much as I can talk baseball all day, we can see, look at this, what happened, that team. We came down, what was this low? 75-24. And we made a low of 75-25. We like basically three ticked this low. Did we? Yep. And now it's been off to the races, but I don't know. This is a yeah, look below and fail. Correct. Good call, TB. Yes. Look below and fail on that. That was a great scalp if you caught it. Congratulations. That's awesome. But what the one thing that I'm focused in on here is that again, so big gap up, right? And I want to let the market prove it. I'm not convinced. So thus far, we traded below the open. The daily open was the first print after the 9 a.m. open, 9:30 open was 75.34. So we went as high, we went a little bit higher, and then let's see how high we went. Hang tight. We went as high as 75.44, and then we traded back through the open. So that's twice. Now we're going back through the open again. That's three times. All right. So stay on your toes here. Stay alert. I have not done anything yet. I want to, like I said, I want to. I've been destroyed in these type of opens. I'm, it's probably maybe it's a little bit of fear, but I do not like to attack the market, especially on after a long weekend. And it's just a personal preference, right? So if I was sitting here and I had been at my desk yesterday working, because typically there are many times when the market has an abbreviated session, and I get other work done on those days. And so I'll watch while the abbreviated session trades, and I have a good feel for it. And so on those days, yeah, I will participate, or I'll come into this open feeling a lot more prepared. But I haven't looked at a chart since the close on Friday. So I want to let things play out a little bit. I want to make sure I have my bearings. I want to get a good read on price. Even if I have levels, I don't know. It's just a personal preference. I want to make sure that I'm sharp. Thanks again for the compliment, Mr. Upton. Mr. Upton. I like the name. Very cool. All right. So here we go. Up 75.44. Let me just uh, bring up the 75.48. Watch this area up here. If you're watching the market blueprint, we have an area here. 75.53. Let's call it 75.50 to 75.55. Right. Um, so this was a support area that should have. This was a support area, and now it's been acting as resistance. So I again caution here. Let's see if the bulls can convert it. Let's see if the bulls can convert it. But we can already see that the early sellers. This could be a continuation of the gap move. We just don't know yet. We just don't know. But if we can get above here, then yeah, if we can get above the area that we outlined in the pre-market. Okay, if we can get above like this zone here, 75.50, right? Maybe we put in something like what we discussed earlier. Okay, if we can come up, maybe we get something like that. So what I would expect though, if we do that, right, is we probably see like something like this in here. Fill it out. Terrible drawing. If you guys are in a trade, manager position, but if you're long, be mindful of where you are on the chart. Let's just take a look at the order flow. See if we can get a good read there, or any read. We're already fading a bit. This is a good area here for them to kind of stall out, not. Yeah, I can already see that we have a bit of a taper up here, a bit of a taper into those 75, 45s. Um, but this looks like stalling action where then they suck in some shorts and maybe they push it a little bit higher. We'll see. We'll see. Anybody else do anything interesting this weekend? Let me know. Post it up. Let us know. We'd love to hear it.
First fullback, take trade.
You can see the algo is trying to get long here, but I have it on disabled. Like I said, I want to let this kind of work its way out. Well, sort itself out. I think it's gonna. I think we might chop around a little bit here before it does anything. Yeah. Yes. The New York Knicks. Renee, good point. Right. The Knicks are going to the finals, team guys, and that's amazing. I was talking to my wife about it this morning. Yeah, that's a big win for the new for us old for us suffering New York City fans. All right, guys, I might try a short here, so just stay alert. I'm not sure if any of y'all got anything on, but um, we'll see. We got a taper down there. Let's see how this pans out. I'm just looking to play it, play the momentum, but also I have an area here on my I'm a little now. I can't really call that an area on the blueprint because I'm still far away. But this is the resistance area, 75.50. The what was support turned into resistance. We had a taper at the top. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it small. $75, $37, $75, $75, $38. It looks like they're hitting them. All right, I got $75, $37 short. $75, $37, $75. Oh wow, got him. All right, got the 5 points off. Oh shit, I don't have the chart up. Excuse my French. All right. Oh man, what is this? Wait, oh, this is wrong. Dang it. This one had me long. I forgot to turn that one off. Fuck. All right, so I closed out the 37 short, and I got that one off, but I forgot to turn this algo off, and it got me long 33.50. So I'm long 33.50. I closed out the 37s because I can't be long and short in that account. But so looking for the first target here, but I'm going to close. If this gives a hiccup here, I'm going to just click close. 37 quarter is what it's looking for. Let's see. This is this account here. So I shorted 37s, right? And I got knocked out. I'm in the same with this. I can't be long and short in this prop, so I had to close one out before that like 30-second gap. So I just closed the short out at 37s, and I'm letting this algo manage this trade at long 33. It's looking for 37.75. All right. Heads up there. I'm going to trim it. If it comes back in on me, I'm going to trim it right away. All right. I'm not going to stay in this very long. And let me make sure I have this one disabled. All right. Everything else is disabled. I thought I had that one disabled. I didn't. All right. Back to this chart. All right. Got the first target here. Got the first target, 37.25. All right. Got the first target. Looking for the second target. Looking for the second one at 30, at 40. Narrow miss there. Narrow miss for 5 points. All right. I'm not liking what we have here in terms of this low volume notch right here. And we just closed that fair value gap at 39.75. I'm going to peel another one off if I see the loss of momentum in the dome. All right. Looking for 40. Looking for 40 for the fill. There's a low volume node at 75.39 to up to 75.41. You can see it here on the volume. I'm talking about this right here. That's a low volume node. All right. So those typically can act right here. We have one there. We have one up here. All right. Yeah, Renee, people are Renee, you a big basketball fan? Oh, got him, guys. Got the 75-40 fill. 75-40s filled. 75-40s filled. Looking for let's see, 75. I have this one set to +5. It's coming in a little bit. I'm not necessarily in love with this position. To be honest, I'm moving to break even. I still have two left on. I'm going to peel another one off here on any type of weakness. I'm not going to panic, but if I see it come down and if I see the delta rolling right now, the delta is still pretty strong. So I want to leave it. I want to let it. I want to stick with it. I don't want to overmanage it. However, if I do see the delta where I have a valid reason for exiting, right? I need a reason. I can't just click close because my panties are in a bunch. So you can see the meter here on the left. I'm watching my meter. I'm watching my delta meter to see if there's a roll. See if I'm shifting a little bit more red, but more or less it's just balanced. That's an equal fight. That's an equal battle. And when all things are being equal, I just tend to go with the trend. All right. So look, we were unable to get. We need to get above 75, 41, 50. We just traded 75, 40, 75. And they're fading. But let's see if they can take the bridge. They're still pressing, and my meter is telling me that the deltas are equal. So if all things are being equal, I have to stick with the trend. We're gapping up. We're just coming off of a look below and fail. I'm on the right side of things. This one is looking now for 75, 42, 75. See if we can get it. Come on. You got anything going on, Bo?
I'm long. I've been getting flipped around and losing some money, but I'm long a few here at 35.25.
All right, cool.
Got one offered at 41.25 and one offered at 47.25.
Got
one
him.
build.
Oh, no, not yet. Got it. I just got it. I got the 42.75 filled. You can see it here. But it actually filled me at 41.70. Hey, team, see that? I had the offer at 42.75. Okay. I got filled at 41.25. Now, the reason is because the algo is set to market if touched. Now, you can see there that slippage, how much that slippage cost me. So 42.75 was the offer, right? And I got filled at 41.25. That's never a good sign, okay? Because that means that we went there and there was an iceberg there because we traded 42.75 and the quickest I can get a fill was a 1.5 away. Let's see if they attack them again. Let's see if we go up to 7, let's watch it here. I'm keeping an eye on 75.40, 175, 75.40, 150, all the way up to 75.40, 250, because I want to see how the volume comes off into those prices. If they're attacking them like 150, 200 at every tick, and my meter is telling me that, look, it's shifting blue, it's more blue, that tells me that we might chew through that algorithm. I'm sticking with the position, and we could break through. Does that make sense? And I'll be straightforward with you guys, with you team. I was hesitant to, I'm a bit of a tape reader, right? So I tend to read the order flow, and I was hesitant whether I should speak about that on stream because it's a murky subject. It's highly subjective and nuanced, and it's more
what the order flow.
Yeah, like reading the tape. Not so from a lot of people have look, I'm just going to say a lot of people try to read the tape but can't. All right. A lot of people fancy themselves tape readers and they're not. It's very difficult to do. It's not easy to do, but I have a ton of experience in this. So I've been watching tape for over a decade. And so I get the feel of it and I get the understanding and I know what to look for at certain areas. So I just gave you a little insight into that.
Nice.
Yeah. Tape reading is like, I think it's a lost art, but that's why I don't talk about it very often.
Advanced declines making new highs here.
Hey, let's get a read on the internal. Hey, team. Check it out. So 2.6 to 1 positive on the NYSE, 3.3 to 1 positive on the NASDAQ. The Russell's breaking out here. Very, very bullish. The 10 years coming off. Interestingly enough, crude is rallying, but it's down almost 3%. Let's see. They need to take this hill right here. Okay. We need to get over 74.545. And then we need to start chewing into 75.50. We need to prove it. That short trade that I got out of, that I closed, that was very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
Does everyone understand why I closed it out?
You gotta be fast sometimes.
Say again?
You gotta be fast sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Seriously. Like you do. You have to be lightning fast. And you understand that, bro, right? Because I'm trading in the same prop right now. So I couldn't be long and short. So as soon as I recognized the mistake,
right.
I think they give you like 20 seconds or 30 seconds to figure it out.
Oh,
so as soon as I realized it, I have to close one. And I closed the point and click trade because I figured I didn't have a stop in on that one. It was just, I was just long one. All right, we're breaking out here. We'll see if we can chew into these 75.45 to 75.50. I'm going to now extend my target up a little bit. I'm going to drag my target up to fill this gap at the abbreviated session low, which is 75.54 quarter. That's probably a good place where I'm going to run into the problem. That's probably where a place that price is going to stall out. And let me just show you it here on the chart, right? I'll blow this out. I'll make this chart a 15-minute so we can see a little bit better. All right. So 75.54 is up here. It's the area that I highlighted in the pre-market open, right? Where we could run into some problem. And I want to cover against that. I want to get out ahead of that. So that would be my target on any spike. However, with that being said, I'm going to manage it dynamically. And sharing the insight into how I tape read is crucial, because not, I don't always enter and exit trades based on mechanical references. There are some times that I see anomalies in the tape and I'm going to take a trade. I'm going to execute on it simply because I know that I'm at an area where I could probably get 2 to 3 points away from my entry, and then I'll manage it from there, right? I could quickly slide to break even and manage it and take it as a scalp, or maybe I'll get lucky and get a position out of it. But tape reading is a it's a very cool, it's a very and you can, anyone can develop it with time if you apply yourself, just like anything else. I don't want to make it seem like it's some super mystical skill. All right, team. So we need to get breach 75.51. That's the next need. That's the next need. We need to breach this spike high here. If we can breach 75.50 to 75, if we can get into 75.55 and start getting some closes up there, start demonstrating some acceptance, then our target becomes what? As we state every day, it becomes the overnight high at 75.69.75. All right. Turbo Fan says, I feel the only truth is price, so tape reading is the top skill to aim for. 100% agree with you. 100%. And and here's the other thing, Turbo Fan, that it's very hard for me to explain it to someone who's just watching, right? So I often, it's hard for me to speak about it because I'm trying to teach people how to, how we trade consistently, how we develop a process. But that is where the rubber meets the road. Like we have our analysis, we have our areas where we want to do business, we have our structural references. But where the rubber meets the road, like at the point of entry, this is how I developed the tape reading skill. I wanted something that I can look at that told me go or don't go.
The go, no go.
Right.
The go, no go. I love it.
So tape reading gave me that skill. And here's another thing is that there's often time where I get shaken out, right? I misread it. But I'm okay with that because it tends to be like, I'll end up with like a, 2 or 3 point loss, one, just a nominal loss. All right, so now this one wants to get long. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one back on. But I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to allow it to execute here. We'll see. But this one can go on because this one would get long. So it's a tricky area, right? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to disable. I don't want to get, I only want to get long if we break above 75.50, 75.55. You can see we're already stalling out. There are definitely signs here, team. Heads up. They need to come back in on those 75.48s. They need to come back in on them. We're losing some momentum here. How many of you have ever understand or know or heard about tape reading? Well, you've heard about it, right? You've been around for a long time. Yeah, and your dad probably, your dad probably, okay, cool, Delphine. Yeah, yep, okay, got it. All right, cool. So then I can talk about it here. Okay, perfect. All right, so then good. Hey, listen, that's something that I could talk about then, that I can share with you. I didn't know if it was going to be lost on you. So I'm happy to share that as well. Again, the entire focus of what we're doing here is we're trying to develop a group of consistently profitable traders, right? Hopefully, then when you guys get consistent, and then if you ever have the skill and you lack the capital, then you come over to Pitbull Traders. If you pass the evaluation, then we'll fund you. And at that point, we're trading every day. Everyone's making money. We're trading the same levels. We're using the same tools. We're on the same page. That's a beautiful thing. Turbo fan, my understanding is that tape reading is like watching a fish market. If the loudest guy is the guy selling fish, I would go short. If the guy trying to buy the fish, I'd go long. That's funny. That's hilarious. Renee, tell us more about tape reading. Yeah, so tape reading is the skill of watching the order flow, watching the amount of contracts that come through across here. Let me see if I can show you something here. Hang on, hang tight. Okay. Give me some insight. ESM is the ticker. I don't like how we're losing momentum here. We needed 75.28. Let me watch this here very carefully. See how we're stalling out ahead of that area? We may need to, we may need to break before we can rally. So reading the tape. So this is the ticker here. Oh crap, where'd it go? So I'm watching this on my other monitor and I'm watching the dome. But I have a filter on here to show me only 5 contracts. The blue are buys, the red are sells. So I'm combining that with the delta. And I'm remembering what price we are on the higher on the chart, right? And then I want to see how quickly the orders are coming in against, how they're being absorbed. If they're not being absorbed, how many are being absorbed? And then the key thing that matters a lot there is you don't want to look at it all day. You don't want to look at it when we're in the middle of the range, we're in the middle of the zone, because you will dull your ability to read it. You want to look at it at inflection points, at larger references. That's the best way to start. And so you focus in on those areas like we are here now, right? We're kind of forming a lower high. We made this little double top right here. We know that the need is 75.50 to 75.55. So why are we stalling out below it? All right. So now is when the tape reading comes in. Now is when I'm watching this. As you can see, we're getting more blues and reds, but we're not going any higher. This is why I'm saying we're losing momentum, right? There's not a lot of sells, but we're not going anywhere. So right now, the read is neutral, but because we understand that we're at a chart reference, 75.50, 75.55, it is where we want to pay attention.
New high in the NQ.
Yeah, the Russell's breaking out and NQ's breaking out. Hey, I was thinking about that specifically this weekend. How many of us in here are NQ traders? All right, here we're breaking through. We're breaking through. Look, you see, I'm getting alerts. You see, I'm getting. All right, that's 75. Though that dark red, I have it configured. That's somebody that played above the offer. So they paid 75.48.50, but the offer was 75.48 quarter. That was a large buy program. When you combine that with SPYGATE, when you combine that with The delta, you can really get a crisp read on. You can really get a crisp order flow read. I mean, of course, that and 10 years of watching it.
30
Large voice said NQ
30,000.
Volt is.
Ding, ding.
Sorry. Go ahead, Bo.
Oh, I just like the number 30,000 in the NQ. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh wow,
Get the
look at
party
that,
hats on.
dude. I saw over the weekend on X. I was just dumb scrolling, and somebody said SPX 10K. I was like, oh my god, it might be time to sell.
Yeah.
NQ Volt is 5 now, but the tick just peaked negative. I'm not an NQ trader. Easy money trading MNQ more. See, I was thinking about that, CB. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about maybe going to. I've thought about it probably 1,000 times of trading. Yeah, exactly. And then I'll start trading it, and I regret it. Needless to say, how that works out. Like, what am I doing? If I'm good at ES, I should just stick to ES. I mean, honestly, though, like I was mentioning my mentor, like you really don't need to trade another. Like at that point, I think that I'm just looking like I'm just being an action junkie. You really don't. You really. I mean, the ES. If I trade, think about it. I can't trade 10 contracts, and my goal should be to size up at what I'm good at, not add more risk to another instrument.
We made a measured move there. The question is this our wave 3 and will it go a lot higher? I think it will.
Bo, can you point that out to us? Do you have it? Do you think you can review that for the folks watching and give them some insight as to what that all means in case they can't follow?
Yeah, I'm just going off our RTH low 25 or so. The move up to 45 was 20 handles. Then you get your pullback of about 15 handles. And then we moved from 29 and a half right up to 48 and a half. So almost that 20 handles exact, right? So now if this becomes a wave 3, usually the wave 3 is a larger wave than wave 1. So you should get an expansion through these previous sort of overnight high. I mean, maybe not through, but it is gone through in the NQ, right? So if we just follow the NQ, we should at least trade back up to 63 or so. So I've still got one offered here right at the high at 51 and a quarter. We're through our R2 level, which was at 49. So we want 49s to hold. The NQ R2 level was at 881, and that held, beautifully.
Good stuff. Thanks for that explanation.
Trades were pretty bad, but impulsive, and I took my losses, and then I was able to still get long and stay with the overall trend. But
yeah, I find that staying with the trend is so it in a certain way, like an understanding of myself, right? That I'm probably not that smart in terms of being able to figure out, the really what the intention of the market is. And so therefore I should probably just look at the chart and commit myself to believing what I see. All right, team, we're breaking out here. We're testing into that 75.51 area. I'm thinking about the target of 75.65. I don't want to get bit by greed though, but that's what I'm thinking about. Just giving you a heads up here. Yeah, so I used to try to, I used to think if this happened to me specifically in, gosh, I'm going to date myself right now, but this is happening to me a lot when TARP was coming out, right? And it was, I had different views on what I thought was going to happen. And then I thought, and then on the daily, we were punching into the upper Bollinger Band on ES. And I thought to myself, okay, this is the government program. This shouldn't exist. This shouldn't be happening. And I kind of, it ended up that I thought I was wrong. And the market kept rallying. And then when I looked back at it, so at that point, there weren't any prop firms, right? So I remember I had a brand new stake of I think it was, I had 40K to trade with. And then I was down to like 12K. Cause I was just shorting it. And I thought to myself, all right, look, what did I do wrong on there? And I wasn't believing the chart. And so I decided that after that, coming into it again, I said, all right, what I'm going to do is next time around, I was looking at, it was like a year later, it's like 8 or 9 months later, maybe a year. And I was looking at the chart and I remember I was like, all I had to do was get long and stay with this moving average, literally. And that hit me so hard like that. It get ingrained in me that I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to trade what I see in front of me, not what I'm thinking about, about my opinion. And then that was a big shift for me. And don't get me wrong, right? I still counter. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Easy Money says, Manny, that bell curve meme is so true. But I decided to, I said, if I want to look back on a chart like this and understand that I was on the right side of it. Okay. And then what I realized was I was saying that often. I was like, I want to look back on this chart. I want to look back at 2025 and see the trend and be like, all right, I don't want to ever look back at I was shorting into these guys thinking, what was I thinking? So it was the shift. That was the shift for me to start staying with the trend and trading with what I see, not what I think. And then I was able more to stay with the trend and use my tools then to keep me with the trend. And look, I think honestly, if you ask me, I mean, I've gone out, I've said it here before, and I'll say it again. I'm, wholeheartedly, I believe that we are at a monumental inflection point. I think we are at, when you look at this chart, when you look at, this is a monthly of ES, okay? I have too many, let me just get the blank chart up. So we are at where is that blank chart? Okay. So we are at, this is an incredible trend that we've been on. Okay. And charts don't ever finish like this. They don't just keep going straight up. We know that, right? We can all agree about that, right? And so when I go back and I do my chart analysis, like here, I have measurements that tell me that this is a 5 of 5 of 5 on Elliott wave. Just ask any Elliott wave or Google it. 5 of 5 of 5 on Elliott wave. And typically, you're going to see explosive moves higher. They go parabolic. So I don't know where this is going to end, but I do highly suspect this, that when this is over, and I'm going to be trading it long until until it's not. But when this is over, I don't think that we're in for something like, I don't think at this time we're in for something like this or like this or like this. I think next time we're in for something more like this. I think the next decline, it will be, obviously there'll be some really bull market rips, but I think the next one we're going to be coming down quite. It's going to be, I think it'll be a multi-year. I think it'll be like maybe a 16, 24-month downtrend. And it'll confuse a lot of people because it'll be bouncing along the way and they'll have been trading bullish. But we're going to trade it long until we get there. We're going to stay on the right side. We're going to use we're day time frame traders, so we're going to stay on that side. We're going to trade it as we see it, day in and day out. Okay, we're going to use our day time frame references, and will we take our stops? Of course, but we're not going to position. We're not going to position long at the highs. We're going to exit at the end of the market, and we should be saved from a treacherous decline if we just stick to our process. We'll come in every morning, team. We'll analyze the tape. We'll figure out what side we want to trade on. If we're wrong, we'll quickly adjust. We'll make money on the other side. All right, let me just go back to the market blueprint, make sure I don't have a level here. Zooming in on the market blueprint, 75.63 is going to give us a problem. Yeah, we're at setup number 4 right now. So I have a valid setup if we can execute what we discussed in the pre-market. So what I'd be looking for here simply is, let me get some more room on this chart. All right. But what I'm looking for here is pretty simple. I discussed it earlier. I'll discuss it again. I'm looking for something like this. We come back. Maybe we chop around a little bit, come in. But ultimately, I'm looking for that breakout. So maybe we get in here, or maybe we get in. Let me see. Let me use the arrow. Maybe we get in on the break there, or maybe we get in here with a low risk. I'm not sure, but this is the kind of structure I'm looking for. And if we get rejected and we get stopped out down here or back in here, then we'll be looking for this. We came up, we came down, we got stopped out, but now we're looking for an entry here to get lower. That's a terrible drawing, but I think you guys get the idea. If not, let me know. Post question. All right, so what did we do here? We traded 75.52, 2 points shy of a fill at 74.54 quarter, and we've thus pulled back 5 points.
First pullback, take trade.
All right, it looks like I'm going to get long up here, 75.50. Yep, I'm okay. I'm long 75, 49, 75 in that one. $49.75. I'm looking for 54.75. I've got to fix this. It doesn't have the scales right. Just doesn't have the skills or the risk, right? We need to get that 50, 75, 50, 250. I'm going ahead and tighten this one up. I want to lock in. I'm long 33 in this account. Long 33. I'm going to lock in. I'm going to lock in 10 points. I mean, I might get clipped, but I've got to lock in the profit. Am I losing momentum here? Maybe. Maybe. Asymmetrical trade. Yeah, Mr. J. Upton, you see it? Asymmetrical trade. Yeah, good observation. Where do you mean the long? Yeah, it looks like this one is going to get gassed over here. I don't know. Looks like we might be in for a little bit deeper of a retracement here, down maybe to 45. That 45, yeah. I tightened this up to stop, but I'm going to have to tighten it. Keep it tight. Simply just because of what the time is. I haven't been looking at the order flow too much. But let's see if we can get some. Okay, we got little poppage. Look, we're getting an order flow boost. Just came off 100, 200, 300, 400. In like tranches of like 30 and 40. Did you guys hear SPYGATE going off?
I did
on
not.
that dip? So when SPYGATE was going off, that was that boost, that burst I was talking about. It went off simultaneously with the order flow read. Let's see if those buyers got absorbed. Oh, look at that. We have single prints. We have single prints down to 45. So that we can go down there and fill those single prints. That makes logical sense. It does. We have single prints down to 45 quarter. It's kind of slowed down here a little bit after that sell program, after that buy program went off. So here, when I said that order flow burst was going off, right? Here's what I'm talking about. Look at SPYGATE, okay? I saw it in ES, but look, you can see those were the two buy programs that went off. And this is what got us down here. These sell programs coming in, somebody was taking profit into these highs. Can clearly see it. All right, looks like we're rallying here. Stick around, team. You're going to learn a lot of neat little tricks. There's a lot of experience in this room. Okay, here we go. Breaking out. Looking for 54.75 on this one for a 5-point fill. Looking for 54.75 on this one. Can I get it? Can I get some love? All right, there we go. Got it. Got the fill plus 5. All right, and on this one, we're looking for 58.75, and that would be 25 points. Not a bad day here. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. What the? Come on, don't lose gas on me here. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Giddy up. Bo looks very sharp when he puts his glasses on. Yeah, for sure. What is it about glasses that make people look smart? I don't know.
Well, I got shaken out on my long at 48.25.
Okay.
I put it back on a different account
Okay.
at 50.5. So I'm trying to just take profit on this at 58.25.
Check. I'm offered at, yep, I'm offered at 58.75. It should be 58.25 to be honest with you, but I'm not touching it now. All right, remember 58.50 is the abbreviated session volume point of control. So just a structural reference there where we might run into some problem or a slowdown. Yeah, let's see. They seem pretty so here. All right, so let's hey, if you're just oh my god, excuse me. Oh, all right, if you're just joining us, I'm Manny Trends. I'm joined by Bo today. You're in the Pitbull Traders live stream. We're tracking the ES. We have 2 long trades going on here. We've been long 75.55 and we're long 75.33. We're looking for a higher target up of 75.58, eventually even the 75.69 overnight high. If you're just joining us, we're tracking the ES. We went over, this is our part of our pre-market game plan where we outlined our ideas and our plans for the day. You can come on every day at 9 a.m. Give us join us, and you can trade alongside us. We got to get better at that.
I think you're awesome.
It's kind of like we're stuck in paint here. I don't know.
So the reason if people are wondering here, the reason I'm offering 58.25 on this is because, and now I'm flat. But what I was doing was offering just below where my consistency rule was set at, right? So on a Pitbull account, it's 33.3%. So you don't want to make, when you're trying to pass your eval, you don't want to make more than a third of what your profit target is. So on a 150K account, you're or is it whatever my profit target was, $4,500. I was trying to make just under $1,500 on that. I guess that was a
Thanks for pointing that out, Bo.
100K account or whatever it is. I can't remember. But darn it, because I would have had that. It looks like instead I got shaken out.
Yeah, good job bringing that up. Let's talk about consistency, because I know traders see it and immediately, think that they hate it. But and honestly, I get it. When at Pitbull Traders in our funding side, the 33% consistency rule, if you think about it, it simply means no single day can account for more than 33% of your required profit. Now, Bo is choosing, because he has his goal and he has his plan. He's choosing to stay ahead of that. If you gained more than that, that's fine, but you'll just have to trade tomorrow and make sure that with however many days you trade, that no single day is more than 33%. So if you made say your profit goal is 9K and 33% comes in at 3K and you want to keep it at 3K each day, you can do that. But say you go over and you hit and you nail a nice trade and you're up 5K, right? Then all you have to do is continue to trade that way and make sure that that day doesn't account for more than 33%. As the baseball coach, if a kid hits a home run and strikes out in the next 10 at bats, I'm not calling him consistent. I'm not calling him good, right? Mm-hmm. I want repeatable swings. I'd rather take the base hit player. And so with trading, it's no different, right? It's just about consistency. We want to build real traders. That's why we're one of the only prop firms that trades alongside you. Not only do we give you the plan and the tools and the funding, but we also trade it live with you. Because it's our goal. Our goal is that we can develop. We're not going to be the biggest firm, and we understand that. But if we can develop a tight-knit group of traders, right? A tight-knit group, say whatever that number ends up being, whether it's 5 or 10 or 12, we want it more of a family type feel, more of a team type feel. And what we're going to do after we develop those traders is every morning, eventually we're going to have a public facing version of this show. And then we're going to have our funded trader show where we just discuss with our funded traders. Hey, all right, how are you guys attacking the market today? What are your thoughts? We're going to all share our ideas. We're all going to trade in unison, whether that be your idea or my idea. We'll cover that at that time. But that is our hope, that we can develop, maybe, if we're lucky, we can develop a couple dozen traders that, more of a true prop firm, in that we're on board with you. We're discussing ideas. We're sharing it, not as opposed to some other prop firms that just, hey, here's an evaluation. We hope you have to fail a couple times so you can reset. They give you no plan, no structure. They just kind of release you to the wild. I think that's a pretty not very. I don't think that sets anyone up for success. But those guys who probably run those, they probably don't trade themselves. I don't know. So, a lot of traders don't like the consistency. I get it, but it does it force pacing? It forces risk management. And if you ever decide to go trade with someone else and you take those habits with you, you're going to be better for it. The market doesn't care about one big day. Long-term traders, if you want to be doing this as a career, long-term traders are built through like repeatable process. Consistency, isn't punishment. It's development. if we didn't think that we could help people trade better and make a career out of this, I don't think I'd be on here. I mean, it's probably easier just to, trade my account and and chat with my handful of buddies and like Bo and the other guys who are on our team and kind of just like slink away like we've been doing for years. I've been trading around some of the guys in the Mr. Top Step room for I don't know, I first joined them in 2012, 2013. And I'm not saying that other firms are getting it wrong. There are a lot of firms out there doing good things. All right, good things. I mean, I've like you guys see it on my feed. I've from other firms, I've gotten probably well north of 300K, and they've played me out. I've worked the system, and it's great, right? But other firms focus heavily on the funding part. I'm a trader that I came in and I knew how to trade before that, before applying to them, and I realized that a lot of I came across this trader, right, who was in the community, and just as a heads up, he couldn't pass. He was trying to pass an evaluation for over a year, and that's when it really hit me that we can add some value here. And that's what feels good about it. Yep. Hey, JB. JB. Let me see. Let me put. Let's see. He's gonna like this. He probably just grunted out. Hoorah. Yep. JB's a pretty good trader. Really good trader. Yep, there it is. There's a hoorah. All right, team. Timeout for me. I'm gonna go use the restroom. Sure, I'll be right back. Sure. I'll leave you with Bo. Bo's got Bo can man the helm for a moment. Yeah, I've got to use the bathroom.
Getting a little stop run here in the NQ. See if it follows through or develops into a reversal pattern. I'm going to try a few more here. Feels like they're going to sweep them back to the downside, but Pretty good reversal pattern. If you like it short, you can short it right here with a tight stop, right? So the question is, are they just going to gobble those up? If they do break this RTH high, you know, I should get that 56 offer, and I should get the 59 offer pretty easily, right? If there's real buying above that RTH high. I think there could be, because there could be a lot of stops above 60 and 70, you know, and they just love to set up the shorts. I mean, I'm a classic example because I like trading short. This could be a pretty valid reversal signal too, though, because it's, you know, we're so extended, and if they just decide to sell a little on the news, you know.
Still chopping around a bit up here. Eventually, we do get down here and fill in those single prints at 75.45 quarter. Question is, do we do that now or do we do that later? I don't know. It looks like we're coming down into them now. I'll get stopped out here, break even. That one. Let me see what the high looks like. Nope. All right, got taken out of that one at break even on the. So I got the first target. The second target eluded me. Let's give a quick read on the internals. It looks like the Russell was blasting off to the higher. It looks like it got a little bit choppy here. And it's starting to consolidate at the highs. Same for the Nasdaq. So they're all three of the majors are trading in unison. The internals are 2.4 to 1 positive on the NYSE, 3.4 to 1 positive on the Nasdaq. So everything's pretty much confirmed. Oil is trading 94, down 2.5%. Let's see, mixed bag of nuts with everything else, pretty much, from what I can tell here. Let's see if the price can get down there at 75.45. Fill those single prints, and then maybe find some support in that area. It kind of makes sense that we put in a low or a lower pivot. Not what I want to see, obviously. Slow day out there, slow day. Is this the start of summertime trade?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting. It feels like a summer vibe, right? It feels like that. Where are we at volume wise? Let me check that out. Yeah. Wow, look at that. He has that 700,000 contracts traded. The overnight session was anemic as well. 70 we had in the overnight session. Geez. Yeah, in the yesterday's session. Wait, is that yesterday's or I always get confused with these uh holiday schedules. Let me see what the time settings here are set to. Okay. So yeah, so for the holiday abbreviated session, there was only 60,000 contracts traded. It's pretty anemic. Let's go down there, fill those single prints, and then let's find some support.
You have a position on, Manny?
Yeah, I'm still long those 33s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm still holding on those. If I get stopped out, it'll be for 10 points.
I got stopped out on my long, and now I flipped and got short at 48 3/4, and we've got a bid at 45 3/4 and 42 3/4. Doesn't feel like they want to sweep it much, but they still could here.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I just noticed something. I didn't realize that we were pretty extended on these oscillators, and we were showing some divergences as well.
All right, I got a couple back.
VWAP is down there at 41/4. Just gonna pull up the blueprint again, make sure I'm in alignment with everything that I've drafted. I had it drafted with my hair on fire this morning. 75.53. Okay. Yep. All right. 75.53. Yep. Wait, 75.53. So why did I have it as? Oh, this is on set there. 75.53 to 75.57. So this is wrong. This needs to change. Let's go 75.54. Yeah. Oh man, we look at that. We faded right from that resistance point that I have on the market blueprint as the continuation long level. I didn't realize it. I had it charted out wrong here. All right. I should have taken it off into that price, but let's see what materializes here. We got a croak. I hope. Did you guys hear that?
No, what was that? SPYGATE?
That's a croak. That's a croak. So that's a sell program.
Okay.
Those singles are down there at 45/4. Okay. Yeah, we might be. This might be the. We might go into the price failed exactly at the need, right? 75.55 was the need. We outlined that we needed to get above 75.50 to 75.55 and hold it. And thus far, we tested into it. We had one 15-minute close, but then we closed right back below it. All right. So now we know that, yeah, so either the bulls are not that interested. I wouldn't call that a sell. If not, I think we'd probably be lower, but just buyers are running out of steam. Let's see what happens here. We're in the tail end of the window. I just heard my coffee finish. I'll be right back. Hold tight. Hold down, bro.
All right, let's see if we can get a little sweep down to 35s again. See that 100 lot bid there? No,
All right,
I
guys.
don't want
Faded here. I got stopped out. Stopped out for 10 points at 43 quarter.
No, I don't want it regaining this purple moving average. So when it breaks that line, oftentimes you get a very nice entry if it retests there, because it can retest quickly and then fail quickly. So I really don't want to see it back above this candle. The high is 43.75. So, you know, to be fair, I could put it at 44.25. I'd like to see this candle that we're in on the 1 minute just sweep lower, but really, if you get a chance again at this 43.75, it can sometimes be a really good sell. But I've kind of been back and forth on this account. I was green, and then I was red, and then I was green, and now I'm green. So, you know, it's almost right here. I probably will, however this trade closes out, just then switch to a different account. Even though I want to get it at the 35s and have my profit target hit for the day at like just under $1,500, that's what I'm trying to do. If I make $500, great. I mean, you know, you can't always like get it perfect the way you hope. But I have a feeling they could sweep this right here. You want to see NQ get back down to this purple line as well at 9.55. See how precise that sell was. And now if it, you know all the stops are right below this bar and above it, right? So now we're forming this nice little box. And which way does it resolve?
I'm long some 22s here. 42. I'm sorry, 42s.
UVXY meltdown. What's that? What's the UVXY, BD? Are you listening? So NQ is breaking the bottom part of this box. So see if they accelerate or not. It's still at support. NQ is. But Amazon pretty weak. Nvidia eyeing lows again. So you want to cover into some downticks. We got to minus 500. We're back at minus 170. Let's see if we can have a low print of the day on the downticks to like minus 1,000. And you want to cover some there if you're short.
All right, took that contract off for minus 1 point, minus 3 points. Sorry, at 39. So I had 42. I took it off at 42.75. I took it off at 39.75. It was one contract on a micro, so I didn't switch the chart out.
Yeah, easy. See if they can sweep the open or not. You know there's stops right below the open, right? So oftentimes if they have more to buy, they're going to hold it. They're going to try to hold it either above the open or at the open. Sometimes you get them to sweep below the open as a stop run, false breakdown. But if they still have more to buy, then they can hold that pretty well. But you now see Nvidia on its low of the day made a new low. Do they care about that right now or not? Yeah, I don't want it. This doesn't, I don't like that this was regaining the middle of this box that I laid out, right? So that was a pretty good hold above the open. That shows strength to me.
I'm back in again. Hey, I'm back in. Heads up. I didn't want it to rubbo.
Yeah, I like that. It seems like because my stop here at 44.25, gobble gobble, right? They should take those out, and then they could easily rip back up through the highs of the day. I don't like how bonds are making lows, and you're seeing this sort of weakness in Nvidia. The market hasn't really paid attention yet over these last few days because rotationally that could be good. Like we finally saw the YM make a new all-time high. But now look at YM today. I mean, that makes sense because you have stuff that's like, Chevron, or I don't remember, but some of the energy related stuff that should be coming off quite a bit. So I don't make too much of the fact that the YM is down today. I make more of the fact that it's good the YM finally made a new all-time high last week or whenever it did. I was on vacation, so. But I mean, I like that for a broadening of the market. So it's a curious thing to watch Nvidia right now on its lows, and then let's see if the market actually rallies and continues to rally, or if they start taking notice of this and they have to sell because Nvidia is selling and is on its lows. I don't know. If they take notice of it, I'll get my 35s here like within a couple seconds. This could be a little false breakout back up to this. They could also stop me out and then just reverse and flush them back down again. If they don't stop me out and they get back below this 39 level again, then that's an indication that they might be paying attention here. So we're at minus 500 now. Again, let's see if the downticks register like a minus 1,000 print. And if they do, then I would expect to get my 35s. Watching advanced declines if they break the 950 level or whatever that is, 960. We only could get to minus 200 on that tick reading, and now we're right back at minus 460. So I want to see this flush right now. Advanced declines are testing that level. Little mini divergence with the NQ, so this could easily bounce. Here go the advanced declines. Let's see if they follow through. NQ divergence. See if they trap them or if they rally them. $9.50 now on the advanced decline. So see if it can follow through and eye the lows of the day.
Looks like I'm gonna get that stop. Yep, there goes. I just got stopped out at 36. The trade I'm willing to take again too. Wait, no, don't do that. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Let me see if I can get what I'm looking for here. No, I just tried one and then I closed it. I didn't get the order flow read that I'm looking for here. That's why I'm so quiet. I'm just dialed in on this. Oh, there it is.
And Q's trying to flush. All right, I'm flat. Made my 1,500 bucks in that account. So now I'll rotate to my next account for my next trade. I'm gonna take a break here, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
You can see them digging in. All right, I'm trying them here. We'll see what happens. See if I can get those at least a little bit of those 4 points back. I was waiting for that divergence. Now we need the tick to follow through. Yep, there it is. There it is. Come on, let's go. Oh no. Then the sell program just went off. You guys heard that? Sell program just went off. Let's see if they counter. Nope, it's rolling over. I have 36.75. All right, I'm out 34.75. That's it for me on that one. So now I want to try to mess around with this thing. seeing that divergence again. But I feel like I overtraded this area. I know they're gonna. I have a. Nope. Here they come back again. So I'm not trying to. Wait. There we go. Nope. That's sloppy. So hard to. I want to be able to write on the screen. Watch this area here closely. Value area low 75.34. We have a divergence on the tick. They got to prove it though. Wait. I want to try to get this pen working. Wait. Nope. I've got to watch these closely here. They're digging in. And there's a divergence in the tick. Damn, what happened? I might try them in here. Heads up. I like them in here. 75.34 is holding. Developing value area low. Yeah, they can't get any upside. I'm seeing some absorption here. Let me stop playing with this pen. All right, I'm trying one here at 36. If I can get a pop, I'll add. $37s. Okay. I got a knock. I got a knock on SPYGATE at the area. I got a knock on SPYGATE at developing value area low. There it is. Oh man, my Ninja Trader's frozen. Dang it. My Ninja Trader's frozen. Let me stop playing with this pen. Oh shit. Ninja Trader's frozen again. Hang tight. Let me get a chart up for you guys. No idea.
All right, pretty good, perfect touch there on the NQ of that 15-minute moving average. So look to reclaim the open here in ES. And if we can, then we can try buying that for a long again if it holds the open. It's not, I don't like the way it rejected and came all the way straight back down. You know, so this could be just a great short opportunity right here. If it follows through and takes out the low of the day, the overnight low, then this could get accelerating pretty quick. So so the moving average period that I use is just a 13 period on it's a simple moving average. So so actually on this, what I've done on this chart is the violet color is to match the moving average on the 15-minute chart. So it doesn't quite perfectly come in that way, but so here's a 15-minute chart. The purple or violet color is a 13 period simple moving average. And then in order to kind of match, so right now on this chart, it comes in around 42 and a half. And then in order to try to match that on the 1 minute chart, I plot that as it's 195 bars is the look back. And it, see how it brings it in right around the same level. So then this greenish, whatever the color is, teal or I don't know. This is my it's a 13 period simple moving average, but basically on the 1 minute. So this is the main one that I use for my entries. Sometimes I use this one for my entries too. Like I was calling this out. When it doesn't hold this level and it goes through and then comes back, that often is just a really perfect retest, right? And it worked great there. I was already short, so I didn't sell it again there because I was already short. And I thought if it reclaimed this here, that it could actually go back up higher. So now you've got a nice flush, a retest of the regular session low and actually, I guess, the overnight low. So the question is, can we hold here? The NQ still wants to hold, but the NQ has now broken down through that moving average. And now the question is, do they sell it here and it starts to flush? Or does it reclaim that? And now they've got plenty of buy stops building above so they can turn their buy programs on and start gobbling this back up to the upside. I'm just gonna go off camera. I'm still here, but I'm going off camera for just a second while I eat a little breakfast sandwich that I made, but I'm still here watching. So yeah, keep firing questions if you have them. I'm gonna check out this Boji